Hey y'all, Wildman here. Today I'm going to be showing you how to skin a fox. Caught this one snooping around my coops the other day, and when I went out to talk to her, well, the poor thing just died right in my arms. So we're not going to let it go to waste. Show you guys how to skin it. There's lots of different ways to skin these things, but the way that I'm going to do it is the way that I do if I'm going to stretch it on a hide stretcher like this one, which I am, or if I sell it to a fur buyer. So let's get her hooked up in the rack, show you guys what we're doing. So I've got a couple slip knots tied here. I've got a screw on the back that I can pull this down and adjust it. Built this rack for skinning small animals like this, foxes, raccoons, things like that. Makes it a little easier to work on them because you do have to flip them around as you're working. You guys will see that. So we're going to go here. And I don't want to go all the way down to this joint because that's right where I want to make the first cut in the hide. I want to get as much hide as possible. After I make that cut and peel it down a little bit, then I will go ahead and move those loops down just so it holds right above that joint. So it's hanging pretty low. I've got a screw in the back here. I can hang it up, give me a little bit better working space. So what we'll do is we're going to cut a ring around right here, a ring right here, and then cut right down to just at the base of the tail. That's going to allow us to open it up, skin everything back, and then peel it down. Now the front legs, what I'll do is ring them with a knife and then just chop them off right at the end, and you'll see once we get done, the hide just peels right off once you get to that part. Let's get skinning. You want to make sure that you have a good sharp knife. This is one of those Gerbers that has the replacement, kind of the surgical razor blades. First time I've using it, and so far it's working pretty good. Alright, once you got it cut all the way down around the back of the legs, or all the way around the legs, then you're going to start making a cut right here, and a cut right here. And when you're skinning to tan, just make sure, take your time with it. You know, you want to, the less meat and fat you have on the skin when you pull it off, the less fleshing you have to do, and the easier it is to work. And the other thing is, if you get in a hurry, that's when you start poking holes in the hide, or pull too much, and it doesn't do you any good if you get a bunch of holes in your hide, either to sell it or to try and tan it. So alright. And once I've got that cut made down, what I'm going to do is just pull back on the hide and cut down just a little bit, try and separate it from the meat. And be real careful, because this is when you can cut through the hide. You see, I already did a little bit there. You see that hair poking through? But that's on a leg piece, so it won't be too bad. Where you really don't want it is in the main part of the body, the main bit of usable hide that you're going to use. Okay, so once you've got it skinned to here, this part's hard to get to, so that's why this rack comes in handy. I can spin it, flip it, hang it up on these two screws, and now I can work from the back side. So once I get it skinned down to here, and I haven't done a great job, I've been going kind of quick, sorry. But pieces of meat like this that are stuck to the skin, I can always take a fillet knife and come off with later. The less of that you have when you get to the point of fleshing, the easier the job is. But now we've got the tail. So there's a bone, and you can feel it runs down all the way about to the tip. So what I usually do, and the fur bar that I use doesn't mind this, I split it down the tail about as far as I can, and then it'll ask me to just peel it off, because sometimes I've tried pulling that tail out, and it's pulled that little piece off on the end of the bone. So I'm just going to make a split right down here, and then start peeling the tail just like I did the rest of it. What you can do is pull the fur back, pull the hair back around, pinch it on the back so it leaves you kind of an open track, almost like a part, and then you just run your blade right down. So once you got a good split in it, the further you go down that tailbone, the better. Separate it off the sides there. So once you get in, you can cut behind it and get you kind of a split. Grab the tail and grab the tailbone and pull. Be easy with it. Shouldn't take a lot of force. Alright, see what I told you happened? Now, that would be a big deal if I were selling it to a fur buyer, because they want that tail on it. But since I'm going to be using this one for leather, I'm not as concerned with it. But that's what happens if you don't get it skipped down all the way. So I messed that one up. It happens. But you can still use that portion, dry it out, hang it off a possibles bag, or use it, hang it off a hat, whatever you want to. So now we got tail skin out. We're going to get it where we can do some pulling around on it. Pulling down, rather. So the back usually peels off pretty easy, so we're going to use the knife on the belly part. So once you get it skint down to the front legs, I've already got the front paws cut off. You just keep working until you can get you a hole. So once I make sure the hide's down far enough, I'll slide the knife through there, slide my finger through, and then you grab the leg, grab the hide, pull. Comes right out. So the legs are through. Now we're going to start on the head. And once you hit it, then you'll start to fillet down. And what that does is it allows the ear to come off with the hide, but keeps you from cutting into it too far. So it looks like a big old hole, and it kind of is. I didn't do that one good. I should have started a little bit further back. That's my mess up. Like I said, it takes some practice, takes some getting used to. Then you just kind of skin down the jawline. We'll expose the teeth. It looks pretty gnarly. Skin down the top of the head. Once you get to the end, find the end of the skull bone right where the nose attaches, and you just cut. Lop the nose right off with the hide. Alright, so we've got the hide separated, and you can see there, that's where all the head stuff. I didn't do a great job. I got in a little bit of a hurry, It's kind of one of those, like I said, I'm not an expert at it. Done it a handful of times. And, you know, going to a fur buyer, they wouldn't really be happy with it. You wouldn't get as much money out of it. But for what I'm going to use it for, to tan the hide out, most of the body is still good and intact. And so it's still going to be a good, usable hide for me to tan out. Now, you wouldn't turn it inside out to, at this point, you would take it and flesh it and put it on the hoop. And I will do that, but I'm just going to show you guys what the finished product looks like. Once you get it all turned inside out. Or right side out, I guess. The other way was inside out. There you go. A good, usable fox hide. Or whatever you want to do. You know, even if, that's the good thing about it, even if you mess up on a part, the body is still good and intact. So if you're making bags, you're making hats, any kind of thing like that, and you can even tan it and just hang it up like that right there. But there's still a good bit of this that's still usable, even though I messed up on a couple of parts. So don't get discouraged. It takes a few times to get good at it. You saw I'm still getting practiced at it, but it's one of those things you don't normally see. A lot of times when you skin deer, you split down both legs and go all the way down the middle to make it easier. This one, we cut it right here, just across the back two legs, and that allows us to peel it down and keep the whole side hide solid. So it's just kind of a tube now, and it'll slip over that rack easier and go onto my my fleshing board a lot easier. Thanks for watching. If you guys got any questions, feel free, hit me up in the comments. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and I get some more videos coming your way. Thanks.